Gotcha.
I do too.
Our opening song is on page 33, This Little Light of Mine. In the pink book.
I picked this because Charlene said to me the other day, she likes this song. I took that as a cue. Not so simple, right? Little light of mine. 1, 2, 3. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I got the light of love, I'm gonna let it shine. I got the light of love, I'm gonna let it shine. I got the light of love, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, I got the light of freedom, I'm gonna let it shine. I got the light of freedom, I'm gonna let it shine. I got the light of freedom, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Ever I may go, I'm gonna let it shine. Ever I may go, I'm gonna let it shine. Wherever I may go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Okay, the blood is flowing now.
Greg Refuse is our company us today. Welcome to the First Existentialist congregation of Atlanta. We are a spiritual community philosophically based on existentialist and feminist principles dedicated to human liberation and protection of the natural world. We make our spiritual home in the old stone church, hand-built by the African-American Antioch East Baptist Church over 100 years ago. We acknowledge that racial hostility drove those African-Americans from the area, and we honor them and the powerful history of this place. We also acknowledge that in the 1800s, the Muskogee Creek people were driven from this land, and we support justice for all Indigenous people. How about a poem by Wordsworth?
Yeah.
I wandered, lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not be but gay. In such a jocund company, I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when I lie on my couch, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Got a good crowd here today. I'm glad you all got up out of your cold beds and came in here. Do we have anyone who is here for the first time or has not been here in a while? If you could stand and tell us your name and how you found out about us.
Hi, my name is Billy. I moved to Atlanta with my family about 2.5 years ago. I have a daughter and a wife. And I play music. I'm a musician. And I find myself at experimental DIY shows. And I met some people at Railroad Earth, which is a sort of a house venue. And a couple of people have told me about this space. And it kind of got on my radar. And then I looked y'all up and been meeting to come out for a few weeks. And I had 3 Sundays, so I thought I'd stop and say hi.
Welcome, Billy.
Thank you. You live here? Yes, I live in East Atlanta.
All right, anyone else? All right, so if anyone has a community announcement, you can bring it up to me. And let's see, I will read them after Marcia's presentation. Does anyone have a birthday or name? Oh, I'm sorry, okay. Billy, if you'd like to fill out this connection card and indicate, what your interests are, and if you sign up your email, then you'll get our weekly e-blast and it'll let you know what's coming up. And the newsletter monthly, yes. Okay, any birthdays or anniversaries that anyone wants to celebrate? Edith, come on up. Bill and Edie, come on up. So it's happy anniversary for Bill and Edie. Let me get the medal down. Sure. So happy anniversary, Bill and Edie. Okay.
Sweet 16.
Bill and Edie.
Anniversary.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. Happy birthday. I'm sorry, let's try that again. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, dear Reverend. Happy anniversary to you. 16 years. 16 years. Edith, okay. Everybody's ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Happy birthday to you. Yeah, sorry. That was fine. Yeah. I had it on the bench.
Okay, we are going to have another congregational song, and it's in the folder, the white folder. And the songs in there are alphabetical. So we're going to be singing Rivers of Babylon.
Everybody about ready? No? Okay. Oh. Under B, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Vitamins, yes.
If I can call Marcia forward at this time, she will share her thoughts with us. Marcia?
It's great to have everybody here this morning. Y'all are looking mighty fine. Appreciate the fact that y'all got up this morning and decided to come and join us. This is that transition season between when we are looking forward to spring, and yet Mother Nature has a different idea that winter's not quite over yet. But I hope y'all are enjoying all the beautiful flowers that have started popping out. I've seen several cherry trees that are in absolute full bloom. And when you just drive around the corner and you see one of those things blooming, it cannot, I don't know about you, but it just can't help but bring a beautiful smile to my face. So I hope y'all are enjoying the anticipation of spring. And I hope that you also remember that there are a lot of people that are still sleeping on the streets. And it's cold, even though we're looking forward to spring. So when you see somebody on the street corner that's asking for a little bit of money, it's probably not going to hurt you to reach in your pocket and give them a little bit of money. You never know. They may go out and buy a bottle of booze, or they may go and buy some food. It's not up to us to make that choice. As existentialists, each person is responsible for taking care of their own needs. So I hope that you will keep in mind, that everybody out there has their own special needs. And we have a wonderful food barrel over here that is, right now, it's not full. They come and change it out every couple of months. But I hope that you will remember on a Sunday morning, just bring 1 or 2 cans of something. And over time, we're going to get this thing full, and it goes to the local community here. It does not go to the food bank, but it just goes to the local community. So it stays right here with us. So keep that in mind, if you would. So I think that today we have something very special that we want to do. And that is that, there are people who work behind the scenes all the time. And some of those people's names we know, and some people we don't, because they're like little mice, that run around and they take care of things, and all of a sudden you come in and it's done. And you don't know who did it or whatever. However, today we'd like to recognize somebody who is like a little, who's more than a little mouse, who's a mother mouse, because she does everything. If you would please welcome up here, Edith Covington. As I think most of you know, Edith is our office administrator. We should call her the jack of all trades, because if there's anything that needs to be done pretty much in the way of any kind of administrative stuff, whether it's in her job description or not, Edith is the one who takes care of it. Edith is the one who handles all of our getting things into our computer. She is the one who handles the bookkeeping. She's the one who has been handling our website. There's not a whole lot that Edith doesn't do. And unfortunately, if you have something that you want done and you decide that you can't do it, who do you call? Who do you call? You call Edith. Edith gets all the phone calls from those who don't know what to do with something. And she, generally speaking, will take care of putting down whatever it is that she's in the process of doing as best she can, and try to help out, so that everybody gets done what they need to have done in a very timely manner. So I know I couldn't do my job if it wasn't for Edith, and how patient she is with me when she needs something, and she has to ask me sometimes more than once. Sometimes more than twice. But, she's very patient. I do appreciate her good nature and the fact that she's such a hard worker. She has really been, I don't know what First Day would do without her. And we don't plan to find out. And there's some other folks that wanted to share some of their thoughts about Edith this morning.
So, thank you, Marcia. Marcia and myself, Bill Reed and Bill Laney are all on the Personnel Committee. Would you all like to come forward too? We also wanted to invite folks to share their appreciation and gratitude. And so once the Bills have made whatever remarks that they want to make, there are flowers up here on either side, and we invite you to come take a flower and place it in the bouquet for Edith and share whatever words of gratitude that you might have. So, Bill.
Thank you. I've been working with Edith for a long time. I'm also do building in Brownsburg, as does Bill Reed here, and Edith calls me frequently, and maybe not as frequently as she calls Bill Reed here, because something has gone wrong here, and maybe it's and frequently it's because a renter has come in the evening, and suddenly something's not working, like the heat, for instance. Pretty serious thing. But Edith. The thing is that Edith is always the first person that people call. And I know that in the years that I was in that situation, being on call, as it were, it always stressed me out. And I always dreaded hearing the phone call. Because I knew that it was going to be a problem, but Edith handles that with aplomb. She does so well with this. And I remember the last time that Edith called me, I was getting ready to come up here. She had tried to call Bill, couldn't get him. I was getting ready to come up here, and it was heating for a renter. And Edith was going to come up here. I mean, get in the car and drive up here, and that's something she shouldn't need to do. She should be able to just call us, but she was having a hard time getting in touch with somebody. So, Edith, appreciate you for all you do. Thank you so much.
gee, Bill, you said lost what I was going to say. I've had the fortune to work with Edith for, over a decade, maybe 15 years. Been a long time. She does the weekly deposit bookkeeping, keeps our bank accounts straight, and makes sure that everything is entered properly and correctly. She's extremely conscientious. I think that's one of the highlights of Edith's interaction with me. She's always conscientious and wants to do what is right, which is a wonderful attribute to have. Competence. She does what she does extremely competently. And she does it with kindness. That's the thing that has come through to me more and more, over the years as I've gotten older and have come to appreciate kindness. If I have made a mistake, she helps me correct it in a kind way. None of this finger pointing, anything like that. It's kind competence. I'm just extremely happy that you're a member of our congregation and that you have chosen to work here as well. I know it creates some difficulties at times because you're juggling multiple hats, and sometimes you're on the board as well. And I just appreciate your being here as a member. And all the rest is gravy. Thank you very much.
So, Marcia and Bill, if you all want to go ahead and start with the flowers since you've shared your gratitude, and anyone else who would like to come forward, now is your opportunity to do so. Linda?
I have thanked Edith over and over already, but I wanted to do this in front of everybody. Her quotes are always so wonderful.
Well, I know I have bugged Edith. Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay. I know I've bugged Edith a lot about the Zoom calls. I set up the Zoom calls for the Social Justice Guild, and we have the meetings, and we have the book discussion, and we have the SJG circle. And she's often been available. I try to sign in, and they're going to send a code. Well, only Edith could get the code, and I know I've interrupted her, and probably when she's doing something much more pleasant than having to deal with me. And recently, we spent over an hour, I'm sure, with the new setup. There's a new meetings at First E, so that I can get that, and I can get the code myself. But patience really is a very good word. You may scream later and pull your hair out, but at least with me, you were very patient. So I really appreciate all you've done to help me. Thank you.
I'm Nancy White. I'm co-chair along with Leon. And I particularly appreciate Edith, who helps us run the board meeting by at least getting us online, because I was not able to do that.
I just want to say that Edith is our face to the community. We could not have a better face. Okay? It's wonderful. I just
want to emphasize everything that Libby said. Edith has helped me so many times setting up Zoom meetings at all times for committee meetings at all times that are probably inconvenient for her. Thank you, Edith.
Well, I'm one of those that probably drives you crazy. If I only do something once or twice a year, I can never remember how to do it. So every time I have a reimbursement, I have to call Edith and say, okay, can you walk me through this again? And she's always just so delightful. And we have a few conversations on the phone every now and then, and I just love talking to you. It's just so much fun. And I just also want to say that I get paid for the newsletter. I opted to get paid once every 3 months, so it would seem like it was actually some money. And if it weren't for Edith, I would just forget about it. I had got a check this morning, and I was like, oh, yeah, must be time for my paycheck, because I never remember, but she always does, and I really appreciate that. And I just love you to death, Edith.
I want to thank Edith for all the work she has done with the website, all the work she did with the website designer to coordinate with the designer and with the first D and get everything set up very well and very relatively seamless. And now she maintains it, and it's a wonderful and useful and living website. So I really want to thank her for that.
Yes, thank you so much, Edith. I am another person who is just very grateful that you had set up the meeting website. I realize I'm still struggling with it, but that's a wonderful thing. I also wanted to thank those wonderful words from Bill and Lainey and Bill Reed, kindness and aplomb. Those two words just live with me when I think of you. And the calm presence, and there's just something so reassuring and wonderful about your presence. Thank you very much.
So Edith, you and I share a name. We have shared a seat in the office, but you have expanded that to be congregational administrator. It's such a big concentric of circles that you hold together for us with such, as everyone has said, kindness and respect and patience. And you and I in particular, over the years, have been working to help the Biracial History Project, which is anchored here in the 100-plus-year-old Old Stone Church. And we do a variety of activities in coordinating with Antioch East and the calendar and the details and the particulars, and you have always been just a champion supporter of this historic work. And again, as the face, the interface with the community and the renters, you are the person who does the walkthroughs, who does the contract, who deals with so many different personalities, and you are so committed to this historic space serving the community with heart and soul and kindness. And so thank you for everything and more. We love you.
Edie was a congregation administrator, as was I. I was the first one, and boy, I tell you, this job has grown, and you filled it so well. You fill it so well. I have particular appreciation for the way that you are so responsive to the music. I know you are a musician, and that the music in this place is important to you, the way that you worked with me to get that great piano tuning people we have that we had to manipulate to get them to even come over, and they like us, and so they came back. Yes, and how responsive you are with the music stuff, and flexible, and thank you so much.
All right, we are going to wrap this up for now. And Edith, do you want to say anything? You don't have to.
I don't think so.
Okay, then we will move on. And thank you so much. And your flowers will be right down here in the hall in the corner. Let's give it up for Edith one more time.
Okay, we have a couple of community announcements. Zammy Nobla presents the Audre Lorde Readathon at Kara's Books and More in Decatur today from 1 to 5 p.m. Also, this event is being presented on Zoom, thus go to Facebook and search for Zammy Nobla on Facebook for this special event. On Saturday, March 2nd at 3 p.m., First E members can attend the play Deep Greenwood Ignited and support local actors and directors, including Wade Marbo is one of the actors. First E will contribute to half of the $50 ticket and member reimburse the other half. This play is about Black Wall Street and the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. Saturday, March 2nd at Porter Sanford Center for the Performing Arts. Flyers are in the back, and see Marcia if you're interested in attending at a half-price discount. This is what the little cards look like. We are going to take about 5 minutes for silence. You can pray, meditate, cogitate, and I will let you know when the time is up. To introduce Reverend Duncan Teague. He and his hardworking friends dreamed of and planted the Abundant Love Unitarian Universalist Church congregation in the West End community of Atlanta is 2018. Abundant Love is committed to the work of healing communities in both the UU and Black church traditions. The Rollins School of Public Health at Emory University also employs Reverend Teague in the Global Health Department, where he assists in faith-based project around HIV, AIDS, anti-stigma work. He's an affiliated community minister for the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. He has served on the UU Minister Association Committee on Anti-Racism, Anti-Oppression, and Multiculturalism. His work has been honored by the City Council of Atlanta. In addition, House Resolution number 290 of the Georgia General Assembly honored Reverend Teague for his 38 years of HIV, AIDS, and community work. Reverend Teague resides in Decatur with his husband, David Thurman, a retired CDC researcher. They celebrate 30 years together and 20 years married. I like to say that Duncan is one of our own. He was a lay minister for many years before he went further on with his studies. So please come forward, Duncan.
I'm so grateful to be back, y'all. I really am. Not the bandages part of the topic, but the home part. It's here. For those of you who weren't here in the 80s, a little skinny black queen with black hair and then red hair. I don't know how that happened. And then white hair. Or no, it was salt and peppered there for a good while. And then I accused my young barber of cutting out all the black hair. And he didn't know what to do. He's only 20-something. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, you'll know. I have a personal announcement, but it also gives you some context for the way I chose my topic this morning. Yeah, that's the not so good news, and then I'll give you the good news. When y'all wanted the topic 4 months ago, no, not 4 months ago. Steen, God bless you. I kept her waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm so sorry. I don't have an Edie. And Edith, congratulations. Y'all pray that Abundant Love gets 2 Ediths real soon. Because I'm not good at that part. My father is 89. He'll be 90 in May. And let's just say there's some disagreements about his care. Y'all have been there. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and pray for us. He is doing as far as you could look at him until he could fool you for about an hour or so. Yeah, because he's still, pretty fit. There are some other complications coming. So pray for him and us. Boy, when I first came in here, he was not 89. Yeah. From both sides now, huh? Yeah. Life's illusions. Yeah. The good news is this, is that I did go off. I did become a Unitarian Universalist minister, ordained, signed, sealed, and almost delivered. And then my calling was very specific. To start a Unitarian Universalist congregation south of I-20. Yeah. I don't know that y'all knew this, but south of I-20, the next Unitarian Universalist church in Georgia is Macon. Wow. South of I-20. Not anymore. And y'all are all welcome to Abundant Love. Of course, it's called Abundant Love. How are we going to exclude anybody? We're at 1187 Ralph David Abernathy. If you know the West End, you've passed by many times. Right next to O'Reilly's. We're across the street from McDonald's. Pray for the West End. I'm serious. Pray for the West End. Meditate about it. If you know some folks over there who are doing good work, they're a gentrifying community. We talk about the West End as though it's been black for 100 and some years. It hasn't. The West End in 1957 was white. By 1968, it was black. Something happened, huh? And so since the late 60s, it's been black, and now it's gentrifying or re-gentrifying again. And at the McDonald's across the street from where we are, along Ralph David Abernathy, blocks away from all sorts of white middle-class folks who moved in to get the economical housing. Economical, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. 2 people have almost lost their lives. One did, a mother of 4, in an argument at a McDonald's. I ask that you also hold in your hearts Kansas City, because they won the Super Bowl twice, and we don't know what to do. And also that at the celebration and somebody who pays more attention to the news knows this, I think it was like 6 children were shot at the celebration about the Super Bowl. And we have a Congress that can't come up with gun legislation. I'm sorry, but the Super Bowl and an assault weapon don't go together. There were no deer to be hunted at that parade. I'm sorry if I have a little roughness in my voice, but guess who could have been in that crowd? Huh? At the Union Station where I used to hang out, near the gay part of town. And one mother, a Latina woman, lost her life to go celebrate the Super Bowl. And we can't figure out how to regulate guns, but we know how to regulate a library card.
Women's bodies.
And women's bodies, thank you. So she doesn't have the right to choose when she's going to have a child, but she can't go to the Super Bowl that wasn't what I was going to talk about today. Anyway, it's February, so we have 28 days to celebrate black folks. Oh, it's a leap year? Oh, so we get 1 extra day. Thank you so much. Now I know the first existentialist is better than that. Y'all aren't confined to these months or so-called months of recognition. Because of it, I chose to bring into our fold somebody y'all have talked about before, and I've talked about it too. And Patton, am I using the microphone correctly? Thank you. And if you're at home on Zoom, thank you for coming in. Zoom kept Abundant Love alive for 3 years, y'all, because my public health folks wouldn't let us get back together. I had a committee making that decision, not just me. And so I appreciate folks who will tune in and come to church. I'm not sure, never mind, that's not what I came for. Anyway, the paradox of education is precisely this: that as one begins to become conscious, one begins to examine the society in which, and I'm going to change it, they are being educated. The paradox of education is precisely this: that one begins to become conscious, awake, aware. One begins to examine the society in which they are being educated. Sounds like existentialism, doesn't it? And because he was so brilliant, we're going to make him an existentialist, but none other than James Baldwin. Just that little bit there. Born August the 2nd, 1924. In August the 2nd, 1986, he turned 62. He died December 1st, 1987, so he didn't live to be 63. I don't give my age out, but I might be older than that. How sad. Tragic. In this is where I got this horrible idea that y'all accepted, that I could become a minister. And it wasn't so horrible here, but I had grown up in the fear of it and it became clever here, because I was going to be a lay minister. So those of you who are considering ministry, be careful. Because I was going to be a lay minister. Me and God had come to that understanding, I thought. And in the tradition I grew up in, accepting this calling on my heart would have required some nightmarish twists and turns to conform into a National Baptist minister. Yeah. And at some point, a married one to a woman. Despite what everybody knew. And I knew everyone else would have seen through the ruse. And we saw it often. How many of y'all grew up Baptists or, yeah, I knew there'd be some survivors in here. And, or you grew up in some version of Christianity and you saw him, because there were no hers. And you knew he was very sensitive, shall we say. And you knew that he was married to her because that way he could be a minister. And that was okay. Living out of that inauthenticity. And this is why spiritually this place right here is important to me. And that's why James Baldwin is for this morning an existentialist for us. If I went back over that wonderful quote he gave us, it's pure existentialism. The difference between allowing an education to subject you and then moving to being the subject capable of examining what is happening to you in the moment and to see what has transpired while you were awakening or becoming conscious. The education did something to your brain, and then you realized that you could actually look at the society that had educated you. All of y'all have done this, because you're sitting here, where it's okay to look at the society. And we have friends. This is the bandages part of this sermon. We have friends, we have family, we love, we care about, who have decided never to examine the most powerful sources of influence upon their character, and they are so annoyed by those of us who feel it necessary to point out our analysis. And especially at holiday dinners. Do you really have to do that now? And I love the vegans and the vegetarians present, but I like a little gravy on my turkey and dressing. And could you let go of that stuff that you learned and just pass the gravy? But we love them. And they may, in fact, love us. They just want the gravy. And we just want to make sure that you know, when we're in that situation, that I'm aware that my education didn't just sit with me, that it did something to me, and that I'm not really that keen on some of the stuff that's going on in our society right now. And we have to be cautious about how we lovingly share that information, hopefully not after too many drinks or other things. And because of that dissonance, there's a pain about becoming aware and watching willful unawareness. or the plain old acting to subdue awareness, which is harder to watch, that you and this other character have both been aware of, and it occurred because we understood something very clearly at a point in life. I need that walking microphone. I'm feeling trapped. Can I use it without causing a problem with the technology? I'm a little better than Lanier was. What I'm saying is this, is that you and this person you love had a loss. You had a transition. The baby was born. Something happened. Maybe it was at that party. Exactly. We have been there. And you and this person who seemed to be disconnected had this moment when y'all understood, oh yeah, you get it, and I get it too. And we love each other, and we understand this, and this awareness that I was educated in, you got it, and you didn't even pay all that tuition. And then, a couple of weeks after the party, a couple of months after the party, you are with them in a casual occasion and you bring it up and they go, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Ooh. But you said, I didn't really mean that. Doesn't that hurt? Because in that moment, you both saw the light. It was in you, it was out of you, it was in their eyes, it was in their voice, and you felt free, huh? Because you had somebody who got it with you. That this might be a racist country some moments, after moment after moment. And that saying out loud, oh, this has never been a racist country. Really? When did that happen? And you remember back when they took that one course in high school maybe, and you all talked about it, and y'all had an understanding that, yeah, and because they married, or went to that other church, or they joined that other group that affirmed them in some kind of way, now all of a sudden, all that light and awareness is gone. Oh my God, really? And I'm not comfortable, and can we just pass the grade? Or let me be inclusive. Can you just pass the smoked tofu? I'm gonna go someplace really risky. After the attack on Israel, I called all the rabbis I knew because I knew they had to take care of their people. And I don't just know them. We eat, we joke, we have, and I have been a speaker at Bet Haverim. So my relationship with the Jewish community is not, I could hardly get up to talk for folks running over and hugging. This is before that attack. And now we are watching Israel about to try to commit genocide in the last safe area in Gaza. Genocide is not defense of your country. And it doesn't make me anti-Semitic to say that. What happened to the light and the love that had Jewish people marching beside us in Selma? when we talk about the white folks who came south to do civil rights work, half of them were Jewish. And now I'm supposed to support genocide of people of color? It's not the same, y'all. And I'm not going to lose my awareness about human dignity and human rights and the love of life and liberty because you might think that I'm anti-Semitic, which I have never been. Lessons from home, but please go get the bandages because this just hurts. It hurts that Hamas would even conceive of doing what they did. But at this point, what is left of Gaza? And this is supposed to be an answer to what? Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to do the fun and stuff. But y'all told me that the power of my intellect, the sanctity of my life, is not in some far-off vision of what I want to be, or in the lostness of who I used to be, which I was cute. But in this moment, right now, I only have 6 more pages. Back to where I was, we know folks who peeked out of the closet. And they had the look of joy on their face. And before we could welcome them in, they went running back in. And some part of us hurt behind. But please don't think that I'm just talking about sexual orientation or gender identity. If you get Jeannie in the right mood, she'll tell you about the folks who claimed they were artists, claimed they were musicians. And because mama couldn't handle it, they went off and did something else that half spoke to their heart. And we lost all that art and beauty. And just so you know, it's not just them. It's us and it's me. Because I had to make some compromises that I later had to change and reconsider, and that we've all had to wonder about, is that really Duncan? Some of them were just for survival's sake. And it's okay, because today, we can be free.
Yeah.
I'll take another risk, that no matter what you came from, even this morning, as the grand queen I am, in this moment, under my voice, I can declare you free. Whether you like it or not. When you leave, you can do whatever you want with it. But in this moment, you're free. Why would you do something like that, Duncan? Because for 300 years, the folks I came from, were picking cotton, cutting sugar cane, doing all sorts of things that made this country rich. And y'all said they weren't free, but guess what they believed in their souls? For 300 years, that they were free. That someday, one of their descendants would be in Candler Park talking to a bunch of white folks with education they couldn't have imagined at a school that wouldn't let us there in the 50s. So I dare to stand here and say that in this moment, you free. Better enjoy it. That's the power of what y'all have on the sign called existentialism. And the power of what our prophet said this morning about the education brings you to consciousness, awareness, and to use that education to examine the society that educated you and declare what? Freedom. You have also other choices you can make. You don't have to listen to this black queen. It's not in my 15 pages, but I can also say this. That you can choose to take that dream you have been chewing on and do something with it in your freedom. My other patron saint is Tina Turner. Why? Because she dared to release What's Love Got to Do with It at 45. Yeah. 20 years later, I saw her at 65 with a sold-out stadium like the goddess doing Nutbush City Limits that she wrote, by the way. And we all knew every verse and every line of choreography. So you can tell me it's too late if you want. But while you have this moment, with the education that you have, you might want to be conscious and use that freedom, that energy to go on ahead and do it. I think that covered a whole bunch of pages. The other powerful thing you can do is that you can become educated enough to begin to love. To challenge whatever has been getting in the way of you loving. And start with yourself. And it'll make it a whole lot easier to go outside. Simple awareness. This Black History Month, the amount of harm done to us, and that's all of us, by this indoctrination that keeps the stories all centered and written so that no hero can stand above the white male hero, right? So I'm not trashing white men. I have loved many of them. That's none of your business. But then every story can't rely on y'all's stuff, because it's not real. So for 29 days now, we can put some other hero in there. We can say it's all right for us to love ourselves as the hero in our own story. Uh-oh, subject, right? Because if I get to be a hero, guess what? You get to be a hero in your story. We can begin to love a hero that comes from our block that we grew up on that looks like us. Love somebody who went through a struggle similar to the struggles we have been through. And then honor somebody else's struggle. Now we're back to this home place that we can love in a whole different way. And re-examine if it did help you survive, even if it hurt you. I'm not saying go back there and build a home. If y'all hear me talking about going back to Kansas City to stay, it is your moral obligation to come and get me. Y'all give Patton some money, tell him to go get Duncan, take him to lunch, talk some sense into his head. And yet I am proud of Kansas City, and not about the Super Bowl. Well, I am proud about that. And Taylor Swift's sense to get a man from Kansas City. But anyway. But it's not that kind of home anymore. But it's where I came from. And because of my awareness, I don't have to make it into a myth. Since I take it with me everywhere I go anyway. I'm hoping that you found love for your home, not for what it did, but for your survival from it, or your triumphant use of what you learned there in the truth that educated you and freed you. Especially if you were fortunate. And in my case, as I stand on this hallowed ground, I got both right here at Candle Park. And I thank you for educating me about being the subject of my own story. When I was lost in all kinds of stories, I crawled up those stairs. And you know, some of us were brought up with the idea that if we become the heroes in our own stories, if we become the subject of our own narrative, we're somehow going to hurt somebody. Well, that was somebody else's insecurity. I hate to inform you. And if you must, let them have it, because you can't do nothing with it anyway. Just love them around it. And then figure out how you can safely be with them or not. Or not. You don't have to be a character in everybody's soap opera. You know those scenes where Margaret is about to walk into Helen's dining room and everybody is at home going, please don't go in there! Guess what I've chosen? And it puts me in opposition to everything that is cultural about being the successful Black oldest son. I have decided that I don't have to walk into all those scenes. Even if it's a cultural requirement. And that means I'm hurting. Because my soul, my being, my intuition, everything says, Duncan, you belong in there. And all the work I have done says, don't go. And so I have folks like y'all who will support me in that anguish. It is not easy. And it doesn't cause harm to anybody. Because I have been doing a few other things instead of walking into those soap operas. I decided, I was going to say to create another soap opera, don't y'all dare repeat that. I decided to live out my calling and plant a church where there wasn't one. There are liberal churches in the West End. Okay, that's my alarm. Thank you. There are liberal churches in Southwest Atlanta. They just didn't have the name Unitarian University. And they welcomed us. And so we're over there holding each other's hands and trying to do more good work that was already being done right there. But it don't look like this, no offense. Thank you for waiting on me to come back.